Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My apologies that I haven't posted anything for a while, quite a long time actually. I have been caught up in work, so I've been working long hours, and also I made a trip to the US. Boom! Hyundai Elantra. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Times Square and it's a lovely day, and New York is treating us well as always. Right, ladies and gentlemen, can you see where we are? Historical place. Unfortunately everything is closed, so we cannot go inside, but I'm really excited to be here and just to see this place. So we are at Indiana Motor Speedway. That was quite fun. So I was in the New Jersey area visiting Burlington, if that's familiar for you, and did some road trips on the coast, and then I flew off to Indianapolis for further more work. So this was a job related trip, and fortunately I was able at least to see Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is awesome, but it was closed unfortunately. But anyhow, I got to see it, so that is good. I hope everything is well with you and your lives and your families, etc. As you can see, the car is jacked up. In today's video we will be doing something I wanted to do for a long time, because as some of you might know, and for those who are new, this car is my daily, and I had diff bushings inserted before I got the car from the dealer. However, I hope at least that the NVH that I'm experiencing is coming from the diff bushings, because sometimes it drives me nuts. So for those of you who are considering installing diff bushings then on your Mustang S550, do consider that you might get NVH, but I'll see in the later in the video. We will see once everything has been uninstalled and I'm taking out for a drive to see if we're experiencing less NVH. However, from what I've read, etc., that is a risk of having increased NVH with the diff bushings, because you're actually inserting a how shall I say, stiffer material in between the housing and where the bolts go. So what we will do today is then to uninstall the diff bushings. So I have Steeda's red bushings, which are more for road use, and they have a black insert which is even stiffer, which is then for track use. As you can see, I have cheated a bit, so I have started, so I have uninstalled the exhaust or some parts of it. So the X pipe have been uninstalled because I'm switching back to the H pipe. That is due to I want to see if there is any performance differences, because I have my draggy, as you might have seen from one of my previous videos. So we'll try it with the H pipe as well to see if we see any differences. And also then the axle back has been removed with the active exhaust to give us some more room while we're working on the diff bushings. Now I've talked a lot. Without any further ado, let's get on with the uninstall. So what we want to do is remove these red bushings. So there is one on each side on the rear of the diff, so to speak. So there's the front of the car, and this is the rear then. And in order to get us some more space, because it's quite cramped in between here, we will actually lower the subframe by loosening these bolts, but not removing them completely. There's one on each side. And then we will work our way onto the front. This is how the red bushing looks after being uninstalled. So this is an 80 durometer. It's not super stiff, so I'm actually not sure how this could increase NVH. Thought it would be a bit stiffer. It could be this billet insert potentially that's causing some sort of a noise. Well, let's move on ahead and remove the other one as well. It was a little bit tight of space, so let's see how it goes. And this is the hardware that comes with the kit compared to the original one, or the OEM one. As you can see, there's some blue Loctite here, and it looks like they cheated a bit when installing the diff bushings, because we don't see any Loctite here at all. Anyhow, let's remove the other side, and then we will move on to the front and remove the front bushings as well. Actually, before we continue, I'll install the right side first, and I'll put some blue Loctite on, and we will torque this down to 129 foot-pound of torque, and then we'll go on to the other side. One thing I haven't mentioned with the rear subframe bolts is that you potentially don't want to remove these completely, because on mine I at least have a subframe alignment kit, so I have a sleeve. So this is also not standard, as I have the BMR CB005 cradle lockout, as you can see. However, where this bolt goes, it's quite a lot of play, so to say, or room for play. So I have Steeda's subframe alignment kit for the CB005. However, if you remove this bolt completely on this side and on the other side, potentially you can get a misalignment, and then you have to work with that to getting the bolt back into the hole. So you don't have to remove these completely in order to get to the diff bushings, as you saw. However, you have this for you in case you would need to realign the holes again, so you can put I don't know what you call it, something you can bend, or not bend, but at least try to align these holes so that the bolt hole aligns with the subframe then, or the chassis. Now we will move on to the fronts. So we will have to remove a bolt that's going into this sleeve here, or what you want to call it, for the CB005, and then the two front bolts as well. So let's get on with that. Now both sides of the front subframe has been loosened. As you can see, the bolts are completely out and the bracket is also gone. The same on the other side then. Now is then to start. Let me see if I can. Oh, it's a bit cramped under here. These bolts have to be unloosened, and then also we have one in the rear here as well. Let me see if we can get it a bit brighter. There you can see it. That bolt there also needs to be removed. That's where we actually have the diff bushing, so it's the same on both sides. However, we need to lower everything down in order to get this bolt out. As you can see, there's stuff in the way here, so we cannot access it at the moment, or we can access it but we cannot remove it fully. Therefore we will use our jack to securely hold this in place while we are removing the front bolts and also then the rear bolts in order to get the bushings out. Finally, I'm finished. We have the rear OEMs in place, and you can see there are no diff bushings there. We have the rear subframe bolts in place on both sides. We have the OEM bolt on the front of the diff as well. So when you install a diff bushing kit, you replace one bolt with two bolts. So you have one shorter than the OEM one going in from this side, and then you have one going on this side where you have the actual bushing, and these were a hell to get out because you need to lower the subframe in order to get the bolt out. And stupid me, I did release the rear subframe bolts too much, so actually the whole subframe was loose, but fortunately I had everything jacked up. So nothing fell down, so to say. Also, in case you do what I did, here you have alignment holes which you can pry and get the bolt into place, so you can retighten it. Oh, sorry. So I had difficulties with this bushing to get it out, but now it's all out, and we have the CB005 arm also in place. Everything is torqued down. So this one is 129 foot-pound of torque. These two bolts on each side. These are 41, and everything else is also 129. So the rear diff bolts and also the rear subframe bolts are also 129 foot-pounds. What's left is to install the H-pipe, then we are good to go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are finished with the uninstall and installing the H-pipe. So what we have done to the bushings is that we have uninstalled these rear bushings then with this longer, not OEM, this longer hardware which came with the kit. We have removed one front bolt. We have also removed a front diff bushing which comes with a smaller bolt. So these two bolts replace the original OEM bolt for the front. I have been out driving the car, and unfortunately for me at least, I did not experience any reduction in what I do think is NVH. Most likely all of it will be coming from the tires. I was at least hoping that some of it would be reduced by removing these bushings. However, as soon as I got one out, I should have stopped then, because these bushings are quite soft. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, it's not like hard plastic, it's rubber. And these are 80 durometer, and track one is 90 durometer. I mean, I should have figured out that this wouldn't potentially give in the NVH that I think I'm getting. Anyhow, with that said, I am a man or a person who do like challenges and also like to learn stuff. So for me, it was a good experience to disassemble or lower the subframe on how to do it and what is required to do so. And I'm proud of myself that I was able to do it the first time lying on my back. However, I have pain everywhere. I maybe wouldn't recommend this, doing it on your garage floor as I did the first time, but anyhow, it is possible and it is doable. If you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comment sections below. And also, if you have any suggestions, let me hear about them on what you want me to post or talk about. And the next video or the next coming videos, I will be talking about what is to clock your bushings, because I will be doing that this week, and it's an important thing to do when you lower your car. So that's coming up. Anyhow, give me 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down, subscribe, and until the next time.